So what's going on, everybody? Today I have Bez here. Bez is from London, UK, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about his experience in the Higher Consciousness Shift program. So to begin with, Bez, can you just introduce yourself briefly?
Hi there. Yeah. My name's Bez, and I've been on the program for about 6 months now. I say, and I'm getting some really good results from it. So I'm glad to be on.
Yeah, so that's what I would like to discuss with you today, Bez. First, let's start with, I want to hear more about your experience before you enrolled in the program. What were you like at that time going through? What made you want to reach out and even enroll in a program like this?
Okay, yeah. So I was before I enrolled on the program that I'm doing at the moment, I was on a spiritual path. But I was getting quite frustrated because I was always getting carried away with my emotions. I'd be very up and down, and I knew that there was more to it than this. And like I said, I was reacting to my emotions, and I wanted some sort of more stability, really. And after watching your YouTube videos and stuff, I really resonated with the teachings, your teachings. So I decided to join up from there, really.
And in what way were you feeling stuck, right? So you said the emotional ups and downs. Were you feeling like you were reacting to what's happening? Were you feeling that you weren't really in control of your emotional state? Or perhaps, I remember we spoke a little bit about how the emotional state, your state of being, was entirely sort of influenced by what was happening and what, the fluctuations of day-to-day life. So talk a little bit more about that. In what way, like what was happening, and then what was your response to it? Was there a lot of suffering? Did you feel contracted? Go ahead.
Yeah. So there was a lot of suffering because I was realizing that I needed to sort of like have some control over my mind, because what I was suffering was, the thoughts of the past or thoughts of the future, and I realized that I wanted to be more stable. And I was very much, I would class myself as an overthinker before I started the program, and I realized that it was just the thoughts that were creating the suffering. It wasn't actually what's happening right now. And that's exactly what the program gave me, really. It's just all about being in the present moment and realizing become more aware of your thoughts and stuff. Realize that you're not your thoughts, and that's one of the biggest things that I've taken from the course, is realizing that I'm not my thoughts. I'm not my emotions. They come and go. But really, I'm just the observer, observing all of this behind it, the consciousness. So it's been such a help in my my day-to-day life, really. It's helped out with my relationships. It's helped out with my work. It's everything, really. It's I feel like I'm just, like I say, I'm observing. Even when I have a down day or a happy day, I feel like I'm just observing all of it, rather than just, feel like attaching myself to the emotion and saying that I am sad, and feeling really down and stuff. I can feel that sadness and just think, okay, it's there, and I can just witness it and realize that, this will pass, and then before you know it, I'll be, happy again. So it's quite liberating when I came to that sort of space. I'm not to say that, I don't have my down days, but like I said, I can be more of the observer when I'm having a down day, sort of thing now.
Yeah. I remember on our conversation, I think when we first spoke, we were talking about how it's what, like as we get onto sort of spiritual path, everybody speaks like, I am not my thoughts, I am not my emotions, yet we live entirely differently. So that level of understanding is entirely different than just the verbal belief or the mental affirmation, I am not my thoughts. So have you experienced more and more that the truth of those words, the understanding that is behind those words?
Yeah. I mean, I'm getting there now. Like I say, it seems to be a slow process, and it's not a linear sort of process. It's not just like that, and that's what sometimes was tripping me up. It still trips me up every now and again.
Yeah.
I sort of going through waves and stuff, but it seems to be getting each easier each time I go through it. You know, if I'm coming up against some sort of resistance and stuff, I'm able to think that this is actually a good thing, you know, because it's teaching me something. You know, I think you've been a big influence in that. You know, you said that this is really, resistance can be a good thing because you're learning something from it. So every time I come up against resistance now, I know that it's part of the process, you know, and just to make it, just become more aware of what I'm thinking and how I'm feeling and stuff, you know. So when those resistances are there, once I become aware of them, that sort of like breaks them down. So, you know, a bit.
Absolutely.
Feels a lot
I
better.
think what you said earlier, you said it in a good way, that there's a greater allowance of the happy days or the sad days, the down times or the, you know, the times of great activity.
Yeah.
I think, and that's really important when we talk about emotional mastery. You sometimes have people have a tendency to think that emotional mastery entails just always being happy and always only being in a blissful, positive state, where actually it is more about coming into alignment with your natural essence, which is almost like the space-like quality within which anything is allowed to appear, right? The space in this room isn't wanting this object versus, and not wanting this object, right? It's not wanting this little like painting versus, and it doesn't want this. It's fully allowing both. And in just that way, what we are in essence is the allowance of both the negative emotion or and the positive emotion. So that allowance, what you said earlier, was a good way to put it, and I'm glad you're experiencing that. What would you say is like in what way did you feel stuck, right? So you felt you were suffering in the beginning, right? You felt these ups and downs constantly, and perhaps you even, you know, were exploring a lot of these spiritual teachings, and what was there before you to implement, right? You knew that stuff, but what was holding you back from creating that shift on your own at that time?
I think it was just I know that since doing the program, I've realized how important meditation is. And although I had a practice before we started the program with you, I had a meditation practice, but I didn't think it was as important as you've made me realize it is. You know, it's everything really. It's just about creating that silence. And beforehand, I felt very stuck because I wasn't allowing myself enough time, I don't think, to create that silence. And I was I was watching a lot of videos, reading a lot of books, which is great, you know, but I was thinking I need more information. I need to learn more to get out of, or to stop this suffering, when really now I know that I need to sort of unlearn what I've learned, you know, all the negative patterns and stuff, which means being silent, you know, and being okay with things the way they are. You know, it's I do a great exercise now when I'm on my way to work, because it takes me 50 minutes to get to work. When I'm driving on the motorway, it's really boring. And at first I was like, oh, this is 50 minutes to listen to an audio book or something, which would be great. You know, that would be great for my advancement and stuff. But then really what I realized is actually, now I've been going up there 50 minutes with nothing on and keep on coming back to the present moment, because it's really boring, like motorway driving. But as soon as my mind wanders, I bring it back to exactly where I am on the motorway, exactly what's going on. And this has been really good for me, because it's a bit different to normal meditation when you've got your eyes closed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everyday life, it's great because you've got your eyes open and you're dealing with things. So it's really helped out in a big way. That with the meditation has been really helpful. And I've actually upped my meditation to, I'll do like an hour in the evening and then like 30 minutes in the morning, you know. And that was because you were saying how beneficial it is, and it has yeah, I've had huge benefits from it. So
That's beautiful to hear. It's lovely that you say that you know you've turned your drives into pretty much like a meditation, which is the same thing I used to do as well when I used to visit my girlfriend every weekend, and it was like about an hour drive every weekend. On Fridays, I used to make that drive, and I remember like I used to have the same approach, and it really, I remember that when I started doing that for, you know, a couple of months, it starts to reveal to you a whole different understanding, a whole different level, where you don't have to go, you know, and then close your eyes and turn away from experience to be quiet. It actually opens you up to this quietude even amidst activity. So I remember when, like going through that phase and really sort of having that revealed to me. So it's beautiful that you say that. And I know, like, and I'm glad also that you're saying that, the significance of meditation has been acknowledged. That is something that I see constantly on the, like, people on this path who are going from one idea to the next, one technique to the next, and they want, like, all these pursuits are for peace, for happiness. Yet what is really the direct, can't even call it a way, but the direct experience of peace and happiness, which is silence itself, which is when the mind is no longer searching outside of itself,
Yeah.
they run away from. So I know that, like, that's the main thing we focus on in our program. Not necessarily, okay, just increasing your meditation time, but rather learning to integrate this silence throughout your day, regardless of how inactive or active you are. So that's lovely to hear. And how has that been for you? So how has your experience now in the program been? I know we've been working together for a couple of months now. How has that been for you? Like the structure of the program and just what you're experiencing, the changes, the shifts.
Yeah, like I said before, really beneficial. I mean, I've had a big increase in my consciousness, my awareness. I'm not looking for those. I think beforehand, before I started the program, if I had some time off and I was on my own and it was silent, I always used to look to put the music on, or I've never been a big fan of TV, but I used to put the TV on and stuff. And like that is all, if I have some time off on my own, I will sit down. I can just sit down quietly now, if you know what I mean, and just enjoy it.
Yeah.
While I'm just sitting there quiet, I don't feel like I need to fill that void. So it's had huge benefits like that. I mean, beforehand, my spiritual advancement I was getting somewhere, but just seems like it's been a real big boost. In the 6 months, I think it's about 6 months that I've been working with you, but it's been really good. The actual course that I took as well was so helpful, and I'm actually thinking about doing it when I've got a bit more time to think about doing it again, because I think each time it's better than reading a book because it's interactive, and I find that it's really really helped out the actual course as well as the calls that we do.
The silence truly consumes everything. It consumes your fears, your concerns, even the concept of past, future, journeying, advancement, spiritual progress. It really is true stillness, and that's what I hope with every call, with every module in the program, in every conversation, to really point everybody towards. And I'm happy that, that's been your more and more your experience is revealing itself to you. So just one last question for you. Who do you think would benefit from this program, right? What type of person would benefit from it the most? Who would you recommend it to?
Well, I've got a lot of friends that would benefit from it, and I spoke to them about it because I just think I speak to a lot of people that are struggling with like an overactive mind, really, and I think in this day and age, I think our mind is so consumed with all this information that we've got, especially when you're looking through social media and stuff, you're flicking from one bit of information to another bit of information. And it can easily like train your mind just to look for different bits of information all the time. But this is the totally opposite to that, so anybody that's struggling with, thoughts, struggling to get to sleep at night and stuff, my sleep is just brilliant now. I just go straight to sleep after my meditation, it's, but I mean, I've spoke to a load of people. So if you're struggling to get to sleep and stuff because you're thinking about stuff, then this sort of course would definitely be for you. And if you're struggling in the day with your sort of mental health in a way, it just calms you down, sort of stops you overthinking. Then this course is definitely for you because it's like I say, it's been a lifesaver in my life, and I'm really happy that I found you.
That's great. I really appreciate it, and I hope it continues to add value to you. So thank you for being here today. Really appreciate it.
Lovely. Thanks very much.
Best.